All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. It's probably because we're competing with the Super Bowl, and the NFL is out to squash us so that they can have all of the media paying attention to just them. No one else, no other media gets to have any airtime, if you will, today. But Jason Taylor is going to be joining me here momentarily. He's having some technical difficulties as well. But for those who don't know, I'm John Orlando. I am one half of this tandem that brings you Mattalk, the only Matlock-themed podcast on the face of the planet. Of course, want to give props to our man, Justin, helping out in the back, producing. He's the silent partner, so to speak. He's the guy that manipulates everything. He's very, very powerful. So we like to definitely give our props to him for helping us out, producing the show. I'm sure he'll have a fantastic snippet here. Wait a minute. Jason may be joining us. Let's see here. Hope everybody's doing great. Oh, there's Jason. Nope. Never mind. There's not Jason. Well, okay. He's saying he's good to go. Are you good to go now? Good, sir.
I think so, man. I'm on my phone. I don't know what's going on with StreamYards on my laptop, but it's just gone to chaos.
It has, but you know what? Again, as I said, it's probably Roger Goodell putting the squash to our little show that we have going on here. So, anyways, Jason, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man.
That's good. It's good to know. You, I know you're not a sports guy, so you probably don't care about the big game tonight, right?
What big game?
Exactly, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that the thing getting in the way of the Usher concert and me seeing Deadpool 3 trailer?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's definitely it. Wait a minute. Usher, I thought Reba McEntire was doing the halftime show.
Really?
Was there two? I thought, maybe I'm wrong. I thought I heard that. I don't know. Justin, can you see if that's true, that Reba, or if it's Usher? I don't know. But nonetheless, you're more interested.
It's definitely Usher, John. Where have you been?
Well,
Reba McEntire.
That's what I was told.
Wow.
Okay. Justin says Usher. Okay. All right. Well. Anyways, Reba's just doing the national anthem. Thank you, Daniel Snow. Thank you. I knew Reba's name was attached to the big game because I don't think we're allowed to say the actual name of the event because we don't have copyright clearances. But
Daniel, don't encourage John.
No, you know what? Thank you, Daniel Snow. You are top notch. Thank you very much for listening. Appreciate it so very much. With that being said, though, so you're more interested in the commercials, right? Is that would be safe to say?
I am more interested in it just being done with. I'm tired of hearing about football. It's not my thing. I do like playing John Madden football. That's a lot of fun. And I like winning at fantasy football because it pisses off the people that actually watch football that I win. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the trailers, and most specifically the Deadpool 3 trailer. It's probably my most anticipated movie of the year.
Okay, cool. Absolutely. I think it's going to be a good one. I'm excited for it. So as we normally do, let's talk a little bit about what we have been watching, since we like to talk all about TVs and movies. Obviously, that's why you are tuning in to find out about Matlock. But off the cuff, Jason, what have you been watching recently?
Law and Order's back, man. So I've been binging that. Like every week I have 3 hours of Law and Order, and I love every moment of it. I have regular Law and Order, then I have SVU, then I have Organized Crime. I wish Organized Crime was still doing the serialized seasons. They've kind of stepped back to doing just episodic like the other Law and Orders, which has kind of diminished the quality a little bit, but it's still a Law and Order, so it was fun.
Well, I started watching a series of movies, and then this weekend I finished it. I was back in the eastern part of Ohio visiting some friends and family. I stayed with my cousin, and we finished off the original Planet of the Apes movies. I had seen 1 and 3, and so the last time I went back, which was right in the fall, we watched the first 3, and then we polished them off by this weekend watching 4 and 5, and then the documentary that was made, the making of Planet of the Apes. And so I feel like I've completed a major task because I've, like I said, prior to this, I'd never seen the second one, the fourth one, or the fifth one.
Have you watched the latest trilogy too?
I've only seen the first one. So I've only seen the one with James Franco and John Lithgow. That one I saw. I haven't
Those
seen
are
the other
really
two.
good.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes is one of my favorite franchises.
Okay. Yeah. No. I was curious because I remember the original one. I kind of remember the third one, so it was cool to sit down and watch where those started from. And the documentary is really cool. Like it tells a lot of like how difficult it was to film things and how throughout the CBS or CBS, Paramount, whoever. I think it was Paramount. Paramount still no, it was Fox. Fox that had that franchise continue to like want more and want more and want more, and they wanted more, but the budgets kept going down. So it was really interesting to see how the directors had to manipulate things to help them out. So
every Planet of the Apes movie I have seen, I have liked. I have not seen the Mark Wahlberg one, but like I said, I really love the originals. I loved the latest trilogy, and the TV series was more of what the original movies were, like the same kind of special effects and so forth. So, I really dig that whole franchise.
Well, the TV show only lasted 13 episodes. It did not do well in the ratings.
No, it didn't do well. I'm just saying, if you miss that style of Planet of the Apes, there's still a TV series that's kind of in the same vein, kind of looks similar.
There's a cartoon as well.
There's a cartoon. I did not.
There's a cartoon. Yeah, there's a cartoon that is very much kind of the same as the first movie installment, but it kind of toned down a little bit in terms of some of the themes and that. But all right, I think Justin says we have some comments, so let's get those comments flowing here. Reba is doing the national anthem. Thank you, James. I'm glad. It's because certain people aren't fans of these teams, not me. Go 49ers. Look, I'm going to support the 49ers too, because for a long time, and I don't think many NFL fans know this, but the Niners were owned by a businessman in Youngstown, Ohio, Eddie DeBartolo. So there's a little Ohio connection. So I got to root for the Niners. Oh, hate to see Sam Waterston leaving Law and Order. I just found out about that as too. Jason, I'm sure that you're. But have you seen the Marky Mark Planet of the Apes? I've been told by anybody that's seen that it's not worth my while. So I will put it on the list clear at the bottom. I just found Inferno today, not realizing that it's the fourth in the Langdon series and that Peacock has Lost Symbol as a series that I'm going to binge tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to pitch that to you, Jason. I don't know what that means. Jason, can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. I just switched back to my laptop. We're all good now.
Okay. All right. So anyways, what I'm pitching George's comment. Justin, can we get George's comment back up here? Thank you. So do you know anything about this Inferno and the Lost Symbol? I don't know.
Yeah, Inferno. It's in the Langdon series, the Da Vinci Code franchise. George has been watching the Inferno movie, which I disliked the Da Vinci Code very, very much. I disliked Angels and Demons very, very much. I liked Inferno. I liked the third movie. Like I thought that one was fun. And then I haven't seen the Lost Symbol, the TV series.
Okay, cool. All right. Shall we go ahead and jump into it? Because this is what the people are tuning in for. And by the way, you know what? We should thank everybody. Our last broadcast was fantastic. So many people. I don't even want to brag and throw out the number, but we'll say it was 4 digits. All right, 4 digits of people tuned in and checked out the last show. We want to thank every single one of you. All, you know what? What the heck? Let's just say all 1,600 of you, right, Jason? That was the last total that we got. Yeah, 1,600 people. We thank you so very much for checking out. That's the best rated show we've had since we started this podcast, and we owe it all to you. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you so very much. It means a lot to us, and we're hoping to keep that train a moving, so to speak. So, Jason, any comments for the listeners as well from you?
Yeah, no, just thank you. The support has obviously been overwhelming. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just let us know, like, if there's ever anything that we can do to improve the podcast, let us know, please. You can email us at benmattalk@gmail.com.
Or you can find us on Facebook at Mattalk Podcast. And with that, shall we go ahead and jump into it? Let's get going, shall we? So let's kick things off with our opening statement. The name of the episode is The DA, and its original air date is March 20th, 1990. And Jason, we have a couple of guest stars here that we need to talk about. One that's kind of a big deal, and I'm going to save him for last, okay? Our first one is Richard Menchenberg. He will be playing the role of Mike Eisman. You may know him for his very lengthy run on the show Arliss, which, if I remember correctly, and Jason, am I correct? Arliss was a HBO show, correct?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it was. It was one of those earlier ones. Anyways, he was also Dr. P.K. Simon on ER and Peter Daniels on Cagney and Lacey. Richard doesn't have too many credits, I should say, to his name, but the few that he had were pretty lengthy and pretty important.
Yeah.
So I go to our next one, which our next guest star is Rocco Sisto. He'll be playing the role of the manager. As you know, if you listen to this podcast, we love it when you just get those type of titles. The cop, the manager, hooker number 2. We love that. They can't just even come up with a name like Jim or Bob or anything. So Rocco is going to be the manager, but he's probably most known for being Richie Gazzo in the movie Donnie Brasco, Judge Ellery on Law and Order SVU, Young Jr. on The Sopranos, Police Commissioner Fahey on Law and Order Criminal Intent, and Paulie in the movie Eraser. So, Jason, any of those titles ring a bell with you, or you'd like to discuss?
I mean, I've seen most of it. Nothing that really like stands out. Like, oh my god, that's the guy. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to add for Mr. Rocco.
He seems to be a little bit typecast because he's either a cop or he's a mobster, it seems.
Yeah, that's a weird one or the other kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
Is it not? Yeah, absolutely. The swing in your skills going from the cop to the mobster has got to be daunting a little bit. So, all right, and I saved the best one for last because this gentleman has over 180 credits to his name, but just because he sticks out for his first credit, I had to throw him on here, show him some love. Greg Henry will be playing the role of Nick Beloit. And if he looks familiar, Jason, to comic book fans, he should, because he was Grandpa Quill in all 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Dude, I was that. See, sometimes there's an episode of Matlock where we see a guest star and we know that guy and we know exactly what that guy's been from. But when I saw him, I'm like, I know this guy. What's this guy been in? Like, you know, the face, I just couldn't pull it up. But yeah, no, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yes, he was Val Resnick in Payback, Jack McCready in Slither, Hollis Doyle in Scandal, all those TV shows. Martin Proctor in Black Lightning, one of my favorite CW shows of all time. Brigham Young on the show Hell on Wheels. And yeah, we could talk for another 20 minutes about his resume because it's that lengthy.
John, you never find these on your own. You always need me to help you at my last minute.
Hey man, you're the backup. You're the backup quarterback, dude.
This guy was in Jake and the Fat Man. This guy was in Perry Mason. This guy was in Matlock, and this guy was in Murder, She Wrote.
We have a hat trick! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, hat trick! Woo! My hat was off.
I remember him from 24. That's what I remember him from.
He was on 24?
Yeah, he played Jonathan Wallace.
Okay. All right. Well, we got a hat trick, ladies and gentlemen. He's on all 3 of the majors, Perry Mason, Murder, She Wrote, and Matlock. Sorry that my hat trick was off camera there. But by the way, I just want to give props to the Wheeling Nailers for having some sweet new retro hats out. By the way, all right, let's get a comment here, Justin, before we move on to. Greg Henry was great in Payback. Jason, I'm gonna let you comment on that one because I've never seen Payback.
I haven't either.
Oh, it took you a while to remember that?
You
look perplexed.
I was thinking, man. Yeah, I was thinking. I've not seen it.
Okay. You look like I asked you what the square root of 72 was, and you're like, all right. I don't know what the square root is, by the way.
I'm tired, man. I cannot tell you how tired I am. My new schedule is apparently getting up at 5:15 in the morning every day. That's what I do. Even if I stay up late to try to sleep in, like I've been staying up till 1 in hopes that it'll push me past 5. Nope, 5:15, I'm up.
Hey, listen, you're crying to the wrong guy because I get up at 5:15 every day as well.
Yeah.
So
I get a lot of shit done though, like a lot.
All right.
But
with
sometimes
that,
I get spacey throughout the day. I zone off and I'm like, Payback. I start thinking about it like it's their square root of pi, and you want me to give you the 7th digit.
I think we have one more comment here. Justin, if you can bring that up, please. Let's see what Daniel Mel Gibson revenge flick of the 1990s, good story and action. Daniel, I'm familiar with it. In fact, I know lots of people that really love that movie. I never got around to watching it. I have nothing against it. I have nothing against the premise or Mel Gibson or anything like that. I just never have gotten around to it. But I will try to do
He's one of those actors, despite his problems. He's somebody I really like watching on screen. So I will check out that movie. I just again, same as John, just hasn't gotten around to me.
Yeah. I liked Ransom, which was one of his another kind of revenge films. I liked that one. That one was good. And of course, I love the Mad Max saga. I think those are all fantastic films. But with that, Jason, I have a question for you. I need you to give me an opinion. Your opinion. And solely your opinion, so help you.
I do, John. And you know what that means? Let's testify!
It's time to testify! Oh, okay. All right. Anyways, I may have offended Justin with my horrible dancing, so that's why he cut us off early. Anyways. All right. The plot of this episode is, after successfully defending a client, Julie is threatened by the man's brother and becomes a target of a stalker. Opening scene sets the tone very well for this episode. It's someone creeping around in the shadows. And we go to the courtroom where Julie is cross-examining Nick Beloit. And basically, Nick Beloit, there's an issue about a car because basically the whole premise is you were over to your brother's house and you were in the car with him, and it's a big sticking point, all right, that you were with him within his car. But when in reality, the car was in the garage, it was in the shop, all right, and that Beloit wasn't with his brother Nick, that he was actually at home murdering his wife. So that means that Thomas Beloit is guilty and is sentenced to, well, whatever his punishment is. Jason, how do you like the setup so far?
Dude, I'm in. I was in. This episode had me at a moment one, mainly because we start with Julie. Like, we don't start with Ben.
No. In fact,
I like that.
Yeah, Ben, I would.
Going into it at this moment, I'm like, holy crap! Is Ben not even in this episode? That was my thought process.
Well, at this point too, we should mention that Ben's maybe say 60% in this episode. He's not in it as much as he normally would be in an episode. Well, as Julie leaves the courtroom, she runs into Mike Eisman in the hallway, and Mike, who is a kind of an awkward, dorky kind of character, Mike asked Julie to lunch, and Julie said, "Well, I'd love to, but Eli, another lawyer I'm working with, is needs some help on this big case that we have. So, okay. So, Nick Beloit, he barges into the hallway and he's yelling at Julie, "How dare you? You convicted an innocent man. I'll get you." So, we have ourselves a possible suspect in whatever shenanigans go on later on, right, Jason?
When he said, "I'll get you," I knew immediately. I'm like, okay, well, that's not the guy.
Yeah, you're right.
Like they're
It's way too obvious.
feeding us. Yeah, no, they want us to think that's the guy. It's not the guy. That's not the guy.
Yeah. So Ben shows up and he, kind of shows up to, well, that guy was a jerk. What was the problem? Blah, 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 blah. And I wrote down that was there a little love triangle between Eli, Mike, and Ben. It seems they were all kind of battling for the attention of one Julie March.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we get to a scene where Julie is at her apartment. By the way, this is kind of a swanky apartment, if I may say so myself. Jason, what are your thoughts? Do you have any on the apartment?
I mean, she's got a nice place.
Yeah, she does. She has a nice place.
I mean, is she taking bribes on the side?
Yeah, I mean, Well, Julie gets a phone call, and it's a hang-up phone call. And by the way, for those of you youngins out there, this is before cell phones. This is when you had an actual phone, a landline, as they say.
No caller ID either.
No, there's no caller ID. You might be lucky enough to have a message machine, but that's about it. Anyways, so the second time the phone rings, Julie answers. It's another hang-up. Third time, Julie ignores it, right? So then we cut to a scene that in the middle of the night, I go walking with my... Oh, I'm sorry. No Billy Joel. My bad. Oh, I thought that would get a pop from you, man. Come on. That was good. Got to applaud for my own comedy over here. It's going to be an episode, folks. Anyways,
I can't give it to you whenever you expect it. I have to give it to you when you're not expecting it.
Okay. Well, anyways, in the middle of the night, Julie gets a call, and the caller says,
Justin liked it.
Okay, good. And the caller said, "It's me." And so there's another phone call, but Julie hangs up on the person. There's another call, and then she just yanks the plug right out of the wall, and the phone is dead. Which I wrote, is this a smart move to unplug the phone? If there's a guy
I answer my phone and somebody goes, "It's me," I'll be like, "Batman?"
Maybe. Anyways, then we cut to a scene where Julie is in a parking garage. She's walking to her car, and she keeps walking, and all of a sudden she hears footsteps behind her. And so, of course, we know what's going to happen. She turns around and is like, "Will you leave me alone?" And it's the wrong guy. It's some rando guy that's like, he has a dirty look on his face because she just yelled at him, and then she's embarrassed, and there you go. So little bait and switch, so to speak, if you will. So,
John, I'm sorry to interrupt, man. Since I was having technical difficulties, I forgot to say this, but this is now streaming on our very own YouTube channel, everybody. Yes, we have a YouTube channel. So if you guys go to youtube.com, type in Mattalk, you'll find this very show right there.
Okay, you know what? I forgot to mention it too. I could have done it while I was waiting on you to join us. I should have done that, but thank you for picking up. You're the tech guy, so I leave all those announcements to you.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a note on the car, by the way, that when Julie gets to her car after yelling at this random guy, it's a note, and the note says, "Are you sorry yet?" Ooh, a little like How I Know What You Did Last Summer type of vibe to it. Justin, do we have a comment that we need to pop up here? I appreciate the Billy Joel reference, John. Thank you, Daniel. See, he's on my side today.
No, he just wants back on the show, Daniel. But I'm the one you got to talk to for booking. I do the booking. John does the editing. I do the booking. I do the booking. It's mainly what I do.
Oh, anyways. All right. Well, we go to a scene where Bob Brooks is looking at the note, and he's talking to Ben. He's talking to Julie, and he said, "Look, there's not a lot we can do because who's doing it? We don't know. It could be a million different people, right? You defend, you prosecute. Excuse me. Lots of scumbags. It could be any of them, right? So Julie is a little bit worried. So Ben puts Conrad on the case. All right, and Ben asks Julie to stay with him, and then." So Julie says, fine, but then she reverses her decision. She's like, oh, wait a minute. I don't know about this. All right. So we go back to a scene with Julie back home, and she gets another phone call. She answers the phone. You look lovely in blue. That's what is said to her, which is creepy. Absolutely creepy.
Yeah.
So
creepy AF.
Oh, and then some. Mike is Mike behind the calls is what I wrote down, because I felt like, yeah, he could probably be. And at this point, I was a little disappointed that I figured it out this quickly. All right. What about you? Did you think Mike was a suspect from the get-go like me, or no?
Mike, that's the one that she worked with, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
the one that she worked
I
with.
figured it out. As soon as he mentions the beach house, I'm like, yeah, that's the guy. He's just trying to get her alone at his beach house.
Oh, wait, you're confusing. That's not Mike. That's Eli. Mike is the guy that was the awkward that asked her out to lunch.
Oh, no, I didn't think it was him. No.
Oh, see, I thought it was him. I'm going to be honest with that. Though we kind of maybe spoiled a little bit of our discussion at the end of the episode. But nonetheless, so Ben arrives, and Ben is going to, Julie is going to stay with Ben, but she's still going to go to work, right? She's still thick-headed about that. And so Ben, and the theory is that he's across the way, like there's another apartment across the way, and that the perpetrator's over there. Here's something that I noticed, that we have been doing this show now for quite a while, right, Jason? For almost 4 years, right? We've done a lot of episodes. This is the first time I noticed that Ben Matlock doesn't have a garage. Like when they show the outside shot, the establishing shot of Ben's house, he just has the Crown Vic parked next to the house. There's no garage. I don't know why I found that so disturbing.
Well, back then, man, there a lot of alleys were utilized, so maybe he had his garage in the back.
Oh, okay, I'll give you that. I
remember growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, like my aunt's garage was in the back. She had to leave the garage and walk into the back door of her house. I remember that very popular in like bigger cities.
Okay. For me, I guess it clicked in my head that we're talking about getting revenge on somebody. So I would just assume that, hey, if you defend criminals, maybe you got one that'll come after you and maybe vandalize your car. If it's in a garage, it's less likely to be vandalized or stolen. But okay, Justin. Okay, yours was the same deal. My home that I grew up in, the house was here, and below was the garage. Like it was on, so it was a 2-car garage beneath the house. So, anyways, I just thought that was something that was shocking that I've never noticed before.
Yeah, attached garage is a selling factor in selling homes. Maybe not so much these days because most houses have them at this point, but I remember that being a thing back then. Like, oh, the house and the garage are attached to each other. You can actually get through it because, probably a lot of safety concerns with the detached garages, especially in the areas that I know have detached garages around here.
There are a few neighborhoods you want to watch out for. But let's get back to the episode where Ben is making breakfast. And we have some awkwardness because Julie, she don't eat no breakfast. Ben even made her sandwich so she could work through the day. This is so cute, isn't it? These two with their banter back and forth, and they're just so adorable, these two.
They are a couple, right?
I believe so. There's some cloudiness to their relationship, but
there's definitely flirting on both sides. There's definitely hints to a relationship, but we've never seen them like kiss or anything or hold hands, have we? Like all we see is the heavy flirting.
No, I think there was a kiss on the cheek. I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah. Where the hell's Les Calhoun? This would have been a good episode for Les to pop in.
What if Les was the suspect? That would have been awesome.
He wouldn't
He's
have
a
done
suspect.
it. I would have known right away.
Oh, that would have been a big red herring. Absolutely. All right. Conrad checks the apartment across from Julie, and it's empty except for one landline phone. That's it. And supposedly the renter is Lisa Johnson. Oh, that doesn't sound like a fake name if I've ever heard one.
This might be a spoiler to my thoughts, John, but
okay.
About this point in this episode, I came to the conclusion that I get why Conrad is everybody's favorite between him and Tyler. Like I've taken me this long, but I finally understand why so many people like Conrad.
Because
I don't know, just something about him. Like he's a really good investigator. The actor does a really good job. Maybe it's because he's consistently there, but okay. I just like the working relationship.
He has that it factor, if you will.
Yeah.
Well, here's my question: how much do you think that that apartment costs monthly? You know, the vacated one, because I'm easily going. You know, taking in the price, like current prices. What do you think that would go for?
About $2,000 a month.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was thinking $1,900 a month. Yeah.
Back then, probably about $1,000 a month.
You know what? I would say a little bit less, because I remember what my first apartment cost when I moved to Columbus. It was just a shade under $600. So I'm like, well, you know what? That might be $800-900, maybe $1,000, but I don't know. Maybe $1,000. I could see that. All right. Well, anyways, a matchbook that was left behind is a major clue. And I thoroughly enjoyed the scumbag landlord. He was great. I mean, he needs some cash to help out. Yeah. So we're at Julie's office, and Eli arrives. And Julie totally zoned out and forgot to go to court. And so Eli's like, hey, no, I took care of it. It's all good. But hey, maybe you need to take a few days off, man. You know what? Myself and Paula, we have a little place, a little cottage, if you will, up in the woods. Why don't you go and check it out? Okay. So,
and I was like, guilty. As soon as he said that, I'm like, guilty. This guy is guilty. He just wants to get her alone in his cabin, and I'm not going to say whether I was right or wrong, but as soon as that line came out, that was my immediate thought.
Well, Julie turns him down. It's like, oh, that's very nice of you, you know. And then Mike Eisman calls, right? And he talks to Julie a little bit, and Julie kind of blows him off a little bit, not quite. But so before we get to what I love about this episode, I think we have a few more comments. So if we can get those up, Justin, would appreciate it.
Did you say there's more comments? There's no more comments.
Oh, they're just promos from Jason. Okay. All right. Sorry. On the counter, it was showing 14. So it was Jason plugging stuff. Okay. Our next scene takes place at the Spitfire Saloon. If that's not a name for a bar, I mean, I would hang out at the Spitfire Saloon. Wouldn't you, Jason?
Oh, I absolutely would. I absolutely would.
Even if it was a dump, and it kind of looks like a dump, I'd still hang out there. At least go for
that'd be a good place for a loud conversation between two friends. That could be a controversial conversation that Justin might want to get out of, like Spitfire Cafe or Lounge. Yep, fantastic spot to go.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we've broken the rules. It's an inside joke. We're very sorry about that. We'll just say that we've had the experience of having some folks get into a very spirited conversation in the middle of a restaurant/bar. And Jason, myself, and Justin were like, can we just step out the side door? Because this is getting to be, I'm hard to embarrass. Okay. But I was getting like, it was, you know, anyways, we shall not rename those folks. We shall protect their anonymity. Anyways. So Conrad arrives and he interviews Nick regarding Lisa Johnson. And I was somewhat afraid that Conrad was going to smoke. He got a cigarette. I was like, no, smokers are jokers. And
it's funny, man, that you say that. I've been watching Stranger Things with my girlfriend, and they smoke so much in that show.
Yeah. It's interesting that, back then it was no big deal. And
Yeah.
then we have today where, I don't know, is anyone complaining about that with Stranger Things?
No, I mean, it's the 80s. I
Okay.
mean, they smoked. Like, what are
Okay.
you going to do?
Well, I don't know. You know how today is. Some people would be like, "Oh my God, I'm canceling Stranger Things because they're smoking cigarettes."
You better not.
But
Not before
anyways,
season 5 comes out, because I must know what happens, because season 4 was amazing.
so Nick has the ability to light matches in a very fancy way. Like he's got this mad skill about it. So Ben calls Julie, and he had heard about the blunder from Charlie, the hot dog vendor, about her forgetting to go to court, right? And so Julie's like, "All right."
I want a hot dog vendor that is in on the gossip.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I want to be able to go, can I get a dog? Mustard, ketchup, onions. Hey Charlie, what's the skinny? What do you got? How about that new guy down the hall, that McCafferty? What about him? Huh? What about him? Oh, he's a good dude. Married with 2 kids. All right, got he was absolutely he's the guy to go. He knows everything, man.
Ben,
He's like,
how'd you know that? Charlie, the hot dog guy? Of course it's the hot dog guy. Like, do you know your boyfriend at all?
I feel like Charlie, the hot dog vendor, is the custodian in the Breakfast Club. He knows everything. He knows where everything is. He knows what everybody's doing. Anyways. All right. Well, Julie's going to cook for Ben. And she leaves the office and someone is following her. And so she runs. And as she turns the corner, she runs into Conrad. Conrad takes off to chase this person. He gets outrun. He loses him. Conrad comes back, and Julian's like, "It's Nick Belot. It's got to be him." And Conrad goes, "It can't be, because I just came from his work, and he's bartending. It can't be him. I just saw him, and there's no way he could have beat me down here." So that is going to lead us to a quick stopping point of asking, who is this mystery man? Because we have another comment. So Justin, go ahead and pop that up. Living in the South, Spitfire Saloons fits perfect. Oh, absolutely. You're right on that one, Daniel. You're absolutely correct. Well, we find out that Conrad can play the guitar in the next scene. And everybody, Julie, Ben, Conrad, they're all trying to organize their notes. They're all trying to figure this out. All right. And Julie says that Mike asked her out when they worked together in Maryland. So that makes Mike be a key suspect. So in typical fashion, Matlock sets up a meeting between Julie and Mike because, hey, we always let the ladies go ahead and be bait for these wonderful wild traps that Ben springs on criminals, right?
Right.
I mean, if it's not...
I gotta bring this up. This has nothing to do with this episode, but you mentioned the guitar.
Yeah.
Do people still play the accordion? Because they shouldn't.
What the hell? That's so random. What?
I was on Fred's show this week. It's coming out next week, and we watched Revenge of the Nerds, and somebody's playing the accordion in that movie. And my thought as I was watching is, do people still do this? Because they shouldn't. It sounds awful.
I don't know, but I saw a TikTok video online of a young lady that plays like popular songs on the bagpipes, and it was kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like popular songs like Enter Sandman and stuff like that. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Weird Al catching strays. Yeah, that's probably accurate, Justin. That is. Okay. All right. So Julie meets Mike. What?
I forgot about Weird Al.
Oh yeah.
Accordion, but it's fine.
That's fine. Besides Weird Al, is there anybody playing the accordion?
There's an exception to every rule.
Yeah, absolutely. So Julie meets with Mike, and she tells Mike about the phone calls and people following him or following her. All right. And Mike denies that he has any involvement in this. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It was not me. In fact, the reason why he wanted to stop was he wanted to thank Julie because Julie gave him some confidence. Just by being around her, he was more confident. And we find out Mike has a girlfriend. who is just as shy and awkward as him. That's from his mouth. That's from his mouth. So, Jason, what do you think about this ruling out of old Mike Iceman? What do you think?
I feel bad for him because, two awkward people probably don't make the greatest couple. Like, it's going to take them forever to do anything. But I'm also happy for him. Like, good for you, Mike.
Yeah. All right, let's get another comment here. Isn't polka music huge in Ohio? Actually, no. You're thinking actually more like Wisconsin, Minnesota, that Ohio. I'm sure we have polka clubs. I'm sure of that, but I don't know. So, but thanks for the question. Appreciate it, Daniel. Conrad and Ben are at that apartment again, the vacant apartment across the street, and Conrad shares info from his meeting with Mike and what he saw because he was overlooking the Julie Mike conversation. I really wish I had a phone book because I would do this trick. Like this trick Conrad has is baller. Like seriously, you take the yellow pages, drop it, and it'll open to the page that's most used. I want to try that. I don't have any phone books.
I was wondering the same thing. I'm like, there's no way for us to test this because I don't have a phone book and I don't ever use it enough to have a page that would be earmarked enough to. And that dude must be ordering a lot of freaking pizza.
So that's supposedly what he is ordering. So Ben arrives home, and Julie is cleaning Ben's house. I did enjoy the comedy there, where it was like, Julie, stop. It's a self-cleaning oven. I thought that was pretty funny. I enjoyed that. But in the meantime, we get a phone call from the mystery man, and the phone call talks all about how did you like eating your pizza, and this freaks out Julie some more. And here's my question. We know that Ben has hunted in the past because of, obviously, at the beginning of this season, we had the hunting party. So we know he has hunted. Does Ben not own a gun?
I would think he does. Yeah.
I would think he would have a hunting rifle or a shotgun or something that if you want some, come get some, as the old saying is, I just thought, well, I know this would have made the episode a little bit darker and maybe more serious, but I just like, I mean, you're going to mess with a guy with a shotgun. Anyways, more on that in a little bit.
No, if he has anything, it'd be a hunting rifle.
Yeah. Well, it's still, I mean, hey, you put a 221 slug in somebody. I mean, they're not going to be messing around with you. So Ben interviews Nick at his bar, and he asks Nick to come over and go through a photo array. So we cut to a scene that there's no setup for this other than the previous scene, but Eli and Julie are walking in the woods. All right. And Julie thanks him for being able to stay at his place. And then it starts raining. And so they run to the house, and then they have to change clothes because they're all wet. And while Julie is changing, she finds the weird scrapbook of Eli. And it's all about her. Okay, all about her. So Eli confronts her about it. Oh, you found my book, blah, 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 blah. I love you. You're the best thing ever, blah, 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 blah. My wife is gone. Which I want to know, define the word gone. More on that in a few minutes. All right. Julie tries to leave, but Eli professes his love. Eli slaps Julie, which I was like, oh, okay. Okay, this is turning serious here. So
yeah, I don't really know what Eli's in-game plan was.
No, it was. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I felt like this episode kind of shoehorned in a lot of stuff without a lot of explanation. Like I mean, when you say Paula is gone, is she gone as in divorced or left you, or gone as in, No,
left. I would say left or divorced. I think Julie would know if she was gone, like died.
I don't know about that. I don't know, but Julie does try to escape this time when Eli's asleep, and man, he catches her and he throttles her almost, which I was like, wow, that's we're taking it to another level here. So we go back to Ben's office, and Nick is doing the photo array with Ben and Conrad. But Nick is like, I know somebody in this photo. This guy looks familiar. And he basically recognizes Eli, and he's like, oh yeah, that dude was in my bar for the last week or so, and I know his drink order, and et cetera, et cetera. And so we cut now to a scene where Eli has loaded up the shotgun, and he's threatening Julie, don't you do that again, or else bad things are going to happen. All right. But just in the nick of time, Ben and Conrad arrive, and Eli with the gun, holding it against, Julie. He's out on the porch. Ben is approaching, trying to talk him down, say, hey, look. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. Eli points the gun at Ben, and then Conrad to the rescue. He comes from behind, and there's a small fight between Eli and Conrad, but nonetheless, Conrad subdues Eli, and then we see an embrace between Ben and Julie, and then I wrote down, Julie is going to be in years of therapy now. So, all right. I think we have another comment here. Justin, can you throw that up there if you will? I tried the phone book trick when I first saw the episode. I was 17 or so, and no kidding, it opened to the section on adult entertainment.
Nice, Daniel. Nice honesty and nice tidbit.
You know what? Daniel, I'll share. When I first moved to Columbus, because coming from a small podunk town in Ohio, I was shocked to find out that what I thought was only in the movies really is in real life, where you could order hookers from the Yellow Pages. I thought that was a thing that only happened in Hollywood movies, but I was like, oh my! I was culture shocked. Oh, it was a thing back in the 90s. Yeah, apparently.
Sounds like
Justin, I'm just saying. It was a shock to me. Yes, maybe I am sharing a little too much, but hey, we're
John
here.
Was
when in Rome.
That he ordered one. They actually showed up to his house.
Okay, enough. That never happened.
You set me up for it, man. You pitched that ball right down the alley, and I just hit it for you.
You're right. And look at you using a sports analogy. Look at you. All right. Jason, anything else you want to talk about real quick before we wrap things up here with this episode?
No.
All right. Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to get to our closing statements.
This is a part of the podcast where John and I will rate the show on a gavel system. 1 gavel means that we didn't like the show. 5 gavels means we love the show. Negative 10 gavels means we are moving down under to Australia to live comfortably as spies. John, what do you rate this?
You are almost out of all of energy, aren't you? You are almost like, if this was a video game, you would have like 1/3 of a bar left, right?
No, dude, I think Australia just like completely went out of my mind right before I was about to say it. So it took me a second to remember what I was about to say. Because Arizona almost slipped out of my mouth. I'm like, wait a second, not Arizona, Australia. So I guess, yeah, I'm on 1 bar of life.
Okay. All right. Anyways. All right. So I suppose you would like me to go first.
I can go first. You always go first.
You go first. I want to hear yours. You go first.
I like this episode. The mystery of where is Michelle Thomas continues. We don't know. Like, has she been kidnapped? Is she locked up somewhere? Maybe we should be following her character so we can save her. But all that being said, this episode is great. Something new, something different. There was no case involved, really. No trial. No, Ben didn't have a thing. He was just doing more detective work with Conrad to find out what was going on with Julie. And I really like this episode. This season has been something for the books. The acting was awesome, especially from the actress playing Julie. So I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Okay.
I think this is a step down, especially with the last few episodes that we've had. I gave it a 3, middle of the road. I did like that it was, as you said, there's no trial, there's no case. It's just this situation that Ben and Julie find themselves in. Again, the chemistry between Julie Summer and Andy Griffith, top notch. I like that. I felt that it was a pretty decent twist to who the mystery man was, although and this is my thing, is I just feel like there's really no background on Eli's crush. Like, why is he doing this? As I said, talking about Paula, like what happened there? Like, was she? I still think she could have been murdered and not known. Like, that could have been a case that's investigated somewhere else, wherever Eli might be originally from or something. It wasn't a bad episode, but I think that it could have been a little bit better. So I'm comfortable with a solid 3.
You know, John, you can't always be right. It's fine to be wrong every once in a while. But guys, more importantly, what do you think of the episode? Comment below. Let us know. Email us at benmattalk@gmail.com.
Or you can leave us a message over on the Facebook page. Just look for Mattalk Podcast and leave a comment over there if you like. All right. With that, then, Jason, let's start talking about our own personal podcasting projects. Let's talk about the Three Geeks podcast. What is going on there, my man?
We took a week off, which is why I've been kind of going off script, because I've had things I wanted to talk about and I couldn't do it there. But we did air our 7th conversation with Aaliyah Jones, dropped yesterday, and dude, she's awesome. I really like talking to her. She's fun. She's self-aware. She doesn't mind poking fun at herself because, you know, ever since the Rock incident, you know, one of us brings it up every time we talk to her, and she's always, you know, laughing and has fun with that. But guys, go check it out. It's interesting take on what happens when an actress leaves a hit television series. Like, what's the next steps in the career? What does that look like? She gets honest with us, and yeah, so much fun stuff. We're live again this week with the Petersons, and maybe John Orlando might be making an appearance. But you guys know the Petersons. We love them. It's the Valentine's Day special, and then Justin doesn't know this yet, but I'm planning on him making Justin's The Game of Oscar winners with negative reviews. We have to guess the negative review that matches with the Oscar winner. So as long as Justin says okay, then that's going to be coming down the lines too. So
and Justin, hold on. Justin, when you start looking up those negative reviews for Oscar movies, look for my name, because as we all know, I have lots of hot takes on all types of movies, but specifically Oscar movies. So
yeah, if the movie has a 50% or above on Rotten Tomatoes, odds are John doesn't like it.
Yeah, pretty much. That's accurate. Deal. All right, Justin, do we have another comment real quick? I thought I saw one pop up. 4.5 gavels for me. All right, so Daniel's along.
Well, congratulations, everybody. I have an announcement to make. Daniel Snow will be replacing John Orlando as co-host of Matlock.
Anyways, you'll hear from my attorney. Anyways, the PVD cast. Yeah, man, it's available over at pvdcast.com or wherever you find great podcasts. This week's episode is a comic book creator, an independent comic book creator out of Michigan named Dave Brown Jr. We talk all about his autobiographical comic book, The Brown Family. He's got another urban comic book called The 313. A kind of a romantic comedy type of book called I Wish. Not to be confused with the Ski Low song. But it's up right now. It's a fun listen. We share actually stories about how we both met Kevin Smith. So there you go. And if you need any more motivation, go check out episode 415. Kids, Comics, and Kung Fu is the title of it. And yeah, so that's it.
Oh, all right. And one more thing I forgot to bring up, and this is mainly for Justin. When the Petersons are on this week, we will be discussing the Dune popcorn bottle that you can see right here. So everybody out there, from John and myself, have a great day, guys.
All right. Well, as they say in court, nothing further.